Okay, here we go.
It is true. And yes, it was over some pizza. I know. The TikTok pretty much explained the whole story. And like short terms, but if you want the long term, my dad brought home pizza. I didn't want the pizza, it was too oily, so I explained to him, Dad, I don't want the pizza. And while I'm explaining to him, I talk with my hands. And while I was talking with my hands, he noticed that I was talking with my hands. So what he says is, why are you talking with your hands like an N-word? With the hard R. What? I was straight flabbergasted, so I explained to him, Dad, it's the way I talk. And he got angry. He said, what the fuck you say to me? I said, Dad, it's the way I talk. I'm looking at his eyes, it's the way I talk. So he says, get the fuck out of my face. I didn't want no problem. I didn't want no issue. So I did what he said. I got the fuck out of his face. I went to my room. I minded my own business. But what really set me off is that he kept going. While I wasn't even in the room, he was talking shit behind my back. What the fuck? I walked back out of my room, and then we just go back and forth. I don't remember what we said because my adrenaline, it was going through the roof, bro. So in that moment, I started going crazy. I started throwing shit in the kitchen. I started smashing shit. And then once I noticed that he walked up, tried to get toward me, I started hauling ass to his shit, bro. My mom tried to hold me back. My brother tried to hold me back while holding him back. And I'm just talking shit to him while he's holding me back. I'm like, yo, fuck you, you piece of shit. I fucking hate you. Like, you know, like I stood up for myself. And I don't usually do that when I'm like, he's a scary guy, my lord. And keep in mind, my mom didn't do anything until I reacted the way I did. So she had all that time to react while I was in my room, but didn't react until I went out of hand.
But I don't understand why they say his dad called him the N-word. That's odd to me in this regard. Now, what you mean to say is that he called other black people the N-word. And sometimes people do that, okay? So I don't really get why that would mean that his dad called him the N-word. He didn't even call his mother the N-word, for that matter. He didn't call all black people the N-word. He said, why are you talking like an N-word? Now, N-word can mean different things to different people. Some people believe that there are black people and that there are N-words. So they compartmentalize people differently. And then other people kind of label them all that way. Now, I don't think in this situation that he obviously thought they all were, because why would his wife be a black woman? And why would he have children that were mixed race, if that were the case? See, I think he meant it in like a negative way of a black person, like a low life black person, basically. Some people have that ideology, and that's not specific to him being white either. That's just an idea that some people have, whether they're white or black. Continue.
That time, like for part 2.
Y'all, this is not the first video that I've posted about a biracial person sharing their experiences about their racist white or non-black period parent, because it doesn't even matter whether the parent is white or just, you know, a non-black person of color. It does not matter. All of them are racist against black people, and they all make it very well known. So I mean, another day, another dollar. Let's get back into this. Ago, it might have been like a year at this point, honestly. I'm gonna try to remember the title of the video so I can put it up here, right? I recorded a video about how this white guy came and commented under my YouTube channel, right? So he called me a jogger, and you know, a lot of y'all might be like, what does that mean, right? But YouTube has like filters. If you comment certain words, YouTube will automatically delete your comment, right? And one of those words is nigger, right? So to get around that, white people will instead comment jogger, and that's them making fun of Ahmaud Arbery's murder. He was jogging when white supremacists killed him, right? So So when a white person wants to call you the N-word, but they don't want YouTube to delete their comment, they will say jogger, right? So he came and he commented.
I don't have any feelings of contempt for Ahmaud Arbery's death. I think it was a good thing, actually. I mean, I don't understand. Why would I want someone who's criminalized to be running the streets? I mean, most of the time they're going to target black people, particularly black men, black women, and black children. So, obviously I'm not going to care about that. So if someone were to say that to me as a black person, I would be confused. Most likely would probably try to explain that I don't have any interest or hurt feelings or contempt for Ahmaud Arbery's death. But I didn't even know people do that. Anyway, or maybe, I don't know. I just never heard anyone do that before.
Under my video, and y'all know, baby, I'm the queen of trolling. That don't work for me, right? So I was like, shit, my big ass need to go for a jog. Like, bitch, it would look like I be out here jogging. Like, what, right? So I said that. I was like, shit, I need to lose some weight. And y'all, let me tell y'all what he responded. That had me like, huh? This white man literally commented, and he said, no, don't say that. I'm racist, and even I can see that you're beautiful. I was like, what the hell? But that proved a point that I've made time and time again.
No, they're probably, I don't know. That probably is somebody who is pretending to be a racist person. Because I don't think that would be an odd way to go about being racist. And it defeats your purpose. When you're racist towards someone, and you can be racist towards people without being white or even being black, you wouldn't tell, if you were telling an Asian person that they look like an alien, for example, you wouldn't go and tell them that they're beautiful the next second, because that would defeat the purpose of calling them an alien. Just saying. So I'm just using one example of being racist. When you're racist, no, you don't tell people that they're beautiful in the same breath. Even people you think are beautiful. For example, if I was in a fight with someone who is Hispanic and I say my piece on them, which, how I feel about that, I can go on a long time. I would never say someone that I've ever found Hispanic people attractive, even though I have. You know what I mean? So, I would never say that in that same breath. If someone says that, they're not really a racist. They're just imitating a racist, probably trying to make white people look badly or something. Anyway, continue.
If you've ever watched, some of my videos, you may have heard me say, white people are racist before they are anything, right? So let me tell you something. Normally when I say that, I'm talking about how, certain white people have certain marginalized identities. They may be queer or a woman or, disabled or something, right? But I believe that before all of that comes whiteness, because I believe that before anything, white people are racist. That's why whenever you're in a community with white people, they will make sure to be racist to you. I kid you not. So even if I go in a, like a women's group, women in STEM or something, they're still going to be racist, because before they're women, they are racist. If you go into an LGBTQ group or something, they're still going to be racist, because before they're queer, they are racist. I know that for a fact.
You're getting it confused, I think. Particularly, I will agree with you with certain spaces. They are, but that's usually spaces that are predominantly liberal. And the reason that is just because I'll give you an example. When I was younger, I hung around a lot of people who were LGBT. There's a lot of people that were LGBT. I hung around regularly, several times a week for hours on end. I would go to these LGBT groups and all that nonsense. Not nonsense in a rude way, I'm just saying all that stuff, basically. And in that situation, I remember a lot of the time, the conversations that they would have would go down to race and how they feel white was the top race, basically, and how they felt the bottom race was black. And they always, personally for me, I never had the experience that they were racist personally to me, but that was only because of a specific reason. that they weren't really particularly racist to me. They were more so of the mentality that, like, they had a complex where they had an idea of everybody's stereotype was their reality. So, for example, if you were Hispanic, they had a stereotype against you. If you were black, they had a stereotype against you. If you were Middle Eastern, North African descent, Indian descent, they had a stereotype against you. If you were Asian, they had a stereotype against you. If you were white, they had a stereotype against you. And they'd have these hierarchies. Sometimes they would have hierarchies where it would be different, where certain minorities were seen kind of like, well, they're not like white people, but they would have stereotypes that were positive about those ethnicities. So then they included positive stereotypes with those people. Basically, they were a whole stereotype in one, and they like to stereotype black people, they like to stereotype everybody. But of course, in the end, they wanted to always see black people at the bottom, because that's what liberalism teaches, basically. So I don't really feel that's particular to white people. It's white people with a certain ideology that have that view, And personally, to me, I always was like, how dare you, think that way, And I would always kind of chime in and say, my bit, my piece. And because they thought of my ethnic background differently, they kind of perceived it differently in the way I expressed it. So, yeah, my point in this was it's not quite just white people being racist, I don't think. I think it's more so a situation where some people of a certain ideology are more prone to being racist and having racist ideology because their ideology is based around race and their racist views, And of course, to them, many of them would say that yes, they are white first and that their privilege was being white, and the reason they felt better was for being white, and that their supposed disadvantages for being gay or being women was basically a thing where they felt their whiteness made up for it in one way or another. So, yeah, you're right about that. But I think a lot of people don't even believe in white privilege that are white. So, I mean, like, they're not trying to make up for anything because they don't see it that way if they aren't of that type of mentality. But like I said, yeah, I will agree certain liberal white people are racist. Now, I'm going to do another video on this because it seems I've run out of battery. But I like this video and I want to continue talking about it. So stay tuned, guys. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and have a great day. Bye.